Hey folks, we promised it and it's here. We have just achieved feature parity between our NX console plugins for both VsCode and for all JetBrains IDEs, including IntelliJ, which I have on screen now. So the big feature that brought us to feature parity that was missing before in IntelliJ has now landed. I'll open up the action pane here and we'll start typing NX console, and clicking the top result here, NX console, will open up the NX console tab. So inside of this tab, we can see our workspace represented by targets. So this is all of the tasks available to us for any one of our projects. And when we dig deeper into one of these targets, we can see the projects that this target is available for. So you see deploy in this workspace only has 2 projects that support the target. However, if I look at build, we've got a lot more here. Now we can also search by project first. So going by project here, we can see, for example, all of the targets available for that project. Now running one of these targets is a simple as selecting one here, like for example this build, and double clicking it. This will open up a terminal down here at the bottom, which will run the target. And we see that completed successfully here. Now that we've run this target, we can also see that it's added automatically to our run configuration tab over here. You can see some of the other targets I've run before I started recording. So once it's selected, we can simply press the play button, or if you prefer, Control and F5, and that will rerun the target that's selected in the pane here again. And this is typical behavior you'd expect for JetBrains IDEs. Now, as you might expect, we can also visualize the project graph here based on any one of these projects. For example, if I wanted to target the entire AOI project here, we can focus the project here via the graph. We can see how this specific project depends on other projects inside of the workspace. However, we've also added the ability to visualize tasks. So if I go to one of the specific tasks here, for example, the build task, and we focus this specific target, we'll see that the NX graph will now visualize not just the projects, but also the targets belonging to that project that this specific target depends on. Now, visualizing target dependencies is a newer enhancement to our NX graph in general. We can also see this by opening a terminal and running the command NX graph. Running this by itself will open the NX graph inside of a browser window, and using the drop down over here, we can now filter down to tasks instead of to projects for visualizing tasks. So all very cool there. But I wanted to come back to IntelliJ to show one more major feature supported by NX console now in IntelliJ that we've always had in NX console. And that is if you open up a project JSON file like I have here on screen inside of VsCode, if we look at a target here inside of our project JSON, we've always had the opportunity to run this specific target by pressing this button right here that's placed inside of our IDE by the NX console plugin. You'll notice too, we also recently added this ability to show the task graph for this specific target as well. You can see if I click it, we'll open up a new tab inside of our IDE that shows the graph for the specific target. So let's take a look at how this looks in IntelliJ now. I have the same project JSON on screen here. Here's the same build that we were looking at in VsCode. Now, if you notice over here, there's a green play button. If I click it, we have the option here to run the specific target, just like we saw in VsCode. We also have the ability right here to focus the specific target in the graph. So clicking it, there's that same graph. Slightly different view than in VsCode, but it matches the styles that I have set in IntelliJ. So I think that looks pretty good. And so with that, we've achieved feature parity for all the major features of NX console so that our IntelliJ plugin now matches the VsCode plugin. I want to give a huge shout out to the NX console team, Johnny Toronto and Max, and especially this community member, Soma, who, as we can see, made a substantial amount of contributions to this specific release of NX console. Now, Soma had previously maintained the NX console plugin that's very popular on the IntelliJ marketplace right now. So I wanted to give a huge shout out to him for maintaining the plugin for before we got here and for contributing all of the cool features that he's added to his own plugin now to the official plugin now that the plugin is on the marketplace. So shout out to you, sir. And that's pretty much everything. Let us know in the comments if there's any other cool features you can think of for NX console or some cool ways that you're using it. We'd love to hear about those. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content and keep your eyes peeled for more NX news in the future. Happy coding, y'all.